Hey everybody, it's Nick and welcome back to the recording studio, and great to have you on the channel. So yesterday we came up with a track which was I called it Massive, which was the track that I literally started with nothing. And if you watch the other video that's on the channel that sort of says we came up with this track, working title Massive. So I thought I'd do another video now, which is sort of how I would arrange it. Vocally, we haven't done anything yet. It was more a case of just showing you sort of how our album is coming together and how we're sort of keeping things going in the way of song creation and song production. So started with Ableton, and again you can see that you've got a completely blank canvas with the view. Now we're in the arrangement view of Ableton, so we've got two main views. This is the arrangement view, so time runs from left to right, so you've got the timing down the bottom here, so just sort of show you sort of as I'm moving the mouse, that's the time. You've got the grid here, and these denote bars. You can sort of focus right in or come right out. So that's the arrangement view. And then the clip view is this one, and this was the view we were in yesterday. And as you watched, I was creating. We started with the bass line, which was this bass line. So what we're going to do now is we're going to arrange the track in somewhat of a readiness of Wendy recording some level of vocal, and it's just really to show you how I work through the timing of a track and the arrangement of a track. And when you feel that something needs to change, something needs to happen, something needs to build, something needs to stop, there needs to be a chord change, a sequence change, whatever it might be. Now, I don't know how we're going to work this out yet. I have no real preconceived ideas. I think I know how the beginning of this goes, which is going to be very predictable. But then after that, will depend on how Wendy arrives in with the vocals, what song she's got in her head, what lyrics she has written that she thinks may be appropriate to this, and then how we create it. Yesterday was listening to a Spotify playlist, and on came an absolute fantastic track by Massive Attack, which starts really simple and then gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as the track progresses, and then it gets into a big crescendo, and then it dies back down again, and the entire track is one loop essentially, but just with lots of layers being added onto it to build to this huge crescendo and then come back. And I thought, actually, this might work, that process might work for this track. So that's what we're going to try and do. And the way we're going to start this is we're just going to add in some additional elements. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to add some additional drum loops in, just so that we have all the loops available. He says trying to find the loops. Where are the loops? There they are. So Mr. Fletcher down here. These are the Fletcher ones. These are ones that I've purchased from many moons ago, and they're essentially a classic sort of a classic drum beat used essentially for sort of hip hop and that sort of. So this is full number 7. So there's full number 7. So that's the rhythm we were using. So we've got the reverb one there. So we're gonna bring these two in just so that we've got the full versions of it, because I think we'll probably start with. So you listen to that. That's totally dry. And then we've got the crunch. And we've got a reverb version. And that's without us putting reverb on there. And obviously we could put our own reverb on there and arguably we probably will. We probably won't use that one. That crunch one we probably will though, because that's got quite a bit of sort of distortion. It's quite aggressive, isn't it? So so let's start with the arrangement. And what we'll do first is we'll just drag in. Now you can't see because it's off screen, but I've run two screens here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab in the bass line. So there's the bass line. We're going to commit it because we're going to commit all these things. So what we've done here is we've grabbed into the timeline and we're pulling in our first thing. So this is going to run for 4 bars. And I think that's probably right. We're going to drag this right the way to the other end, because we're pretty much going to leave this to run all the way through, I'd imagine. So what we'll now do is we'll then bring in the break beats. And so if I just bring in the first one, I'm just going to bring it in on the first one. So you've got 4 bars. So then on the 5th bar, fairly predictable. But as you can hear, it's completely dry. So what we'll do is we'll just drag that to the other end, just so that it reflects the length, because I suspect as we build this track out, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I suspect that as we develop this song and Wendy comes in with some vocal ideas, we may well change the arrangement of this to be longer, be shorter, be breaks, be chord changes. This is just a foundational step, and this will be something that I'll play to Wendy. She'll have some ideas in her mind, no doubt. We'll start to record it, and I will then create another video when we've done a recording of her vocals. I will then sort of show you how we've done that, and then how we do the next step of the arrangement, and if there's any more songwriting to be done, as in chord progressions, that sort of thing. But I'd like to be somewhat prepared. It depends how we're writing. This is one particular way of writing. Another writing style is literally Wendy and I are sitting here. I'm at the piano. Wendy's got lyrics. She sings. I play. And so the track can be written in different ways. This is one particular way we do it. So we've done that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in that bass line I created. So let's bring in the bass line. And again, what we're going to do is we're going to let it run. So we've got 4 bars of the first. Now, immediately. Just have an idea. So it's quite dry here. So as you can see, we've got a break. We've got to put a stop in. Let the bass line. Now bring in everything. Just bring it. So adjust that. Just got the mix. It's good. So again, arguably what we could do is we could stop it there, bring in another one. So let's just do that as well. So we're going to do, we're going to grab that, stop that. We're going to repeat that bass line and let it run again. So let's just have a listen to that. So it's going to stop, let the bass line roll. So now we need to bring in some more stuff. So if you remember, we had another sort of rhythmic, synth. So now we bring in the big drums. that I recorded. So let's just leave them. So you sort of get how this now starts to build. So let's just have a listen to it again. So we've got this nice. I mean, I can imagine that there's going to be. I may overlay some texture over that. I'll have a think about that in a moment. I've got lots of texture that I can add in, synth textures. I'll show you that shortly. Sounds good so far. It's a good build. I could imagine this sort of being listened to while you're in the gym, or if we're performing it live, how sort of captivating that can be. Stop. Go. It's good. Nice 9th note there. That bass line's playing a 9th note, octave, octave, up to the 9th, nice, and stop. Now coming again. Now arguably, we could bring in the whole lot there, right? So let's just see how that sounds. Excellent, that sounds great. So let's now bring in the big synths, and let's just see, do they make sense that they come in, let's just make sure I get it put in the right spot. There it is. And then we bring in. Now, what would you say? Would you say that this is an intro? Where are we? We're at 2 minutes, right? So where does Wendy sing so far? Because you'd say that this kind of feels like a big intro, big creation intro. So does Wendy sing as it builds? Does she wait until the big track kicks in? This is good. So let's reset. Let's just and then stop. It's good. I think another 4 bars feels right. Okay, so I think maybe Wendy singing would start at 1:40. It's an album track, so it can start whenever you want, right? Here we go, big. Be that she sings there in the pocket, right, before we could repeat all that again. I mean, it could be that that's a chorus, right? These big ones. So here we go, big chorus. There we go, big chorus. End of the chorus, another verse, just Wendy and this. those voices pulsing. You might want to put in a piano, maybe, possibly. Wicked. Let's save that. There you go. So maybe that's a track. Who knows? That's quite an interesting, wasn't it? How that sort of progresses. So what I like to do with these songs is start with the biggest elements I can. So like in yesterday's video, throwing the kitchen sink at it, all the layers, all the textures, all the drum beats, because I know that these build over time. So when the track is being created, you want to give obviously some emotion, some space. You want to get the vocals to fit in really nicely as the track creates. So there you go. So we've kind of got, what's that, 3-4 minutes there. I don't think we're anywhere near the end of that track. And there are going to be more drums. I haven't recorded enough drums yet. I need to record in some variations of that drum beat. I'll record in some variations on the bass lines, on the synths, some textures. Let's just finish with textures. Textures is a really interesting one. So I'm just going to go back and put in one of my favorite synths again. So I'll go back to Arturia and the Pigment synth, because it's just such a great synth. Let's just go back to Pigments. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop in a final row here. Here it comes. Right, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some. So these Tom Wolfe ones. These are called binaural synths. They are sort of in 8D, or they claim to be, and they sound beautiful. And here you can see you've got granular textures. So if I select one, you'll kind of get the idea of how this sounds. So they're not really, so I'm not holding a D there, but it doesn't really sound like a D. So maybe let's try a different one. That sounds a bit more D, doesn't it? Just record that. So let's just set it all up so that it records that nicely. I think that might be an intro. Let's bass line first, bass first. Here we go. That's good. 4 bars. grab the arrangement. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the entire arrangement. We're going to move it 16 bars. 16 bars. We start on the 17th bar. Grab in the new intro. Pop that in. And as you can see now, there's an overlap. So what I'm thinking now is that this could be a really nice way to open a gig. It's a great track to start. I'm thinking that with all the sound stage, the lights, that could sound really nice. Give it some movement. What do we think? I don't know. It could work. I think that needs a bit of work, but the idea is there. Excellent. Fantastic. Massive keeps building, right? So save that. So thank you very much for watching, and if you like what you've seen and heard, do subscribe, do like us, it helps the algorithms. So thanks ever so much.